Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 p.m. You're watching on live RTD channel. Welcome to this English news edition. Here are the top stories for today. Inauguration of Bisoduru Obok Region Drinking Water Addiction Project. A declaration of the public prosecutors following the diffusions of audio and social network. And on the international scenes, the summit between the European Union and the African Union opens tomorrow. Those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. Proceeding from the priorities of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, representing fighting thirst and establishing facilities aimed at providing rural waters, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed went to Obok region this morning to inaugurate the drinking water supply project between Bisoduru and Mulhole of the region of Obok. The Prime Minister and his accompanying ministerial delegation were warmly welcomed by the regional authorities, including the Governor of the region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Banoita, the Head of Regional Council, Mohammed Ahmed Ismail, parliamentarians, as well as a large crowd of Obok residents. The minister was also accompanied during this visit by delegation from the Saudi Fund for Development, the partners in this major project led by the CEO Sultan Abdul Rahman Bil Murshid. For the fund, this visit aims to inaugurate a project to supply potable water to the residents of Bisoduru district at the project, which was launched in October of the year 2020. A work for this project by the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, where the cost of the project reached about $11 million. This achievement is also an opportunity and important step toward achieving an exceptional transformation that will benefit the interests of the coastal population and move towards better life. In the intervention of the head of the regional council and governor of the Obok region, he praised the Saudi delegation and the ministerial delegation who carry out the first installation of a major project to combat the thirst in rural areas. For his part, the governor of Obok region, Abdul Malik Mohammed Banoita, also praised the delegation. He said, "Today, thanks above all the divine will and your effort to precious commodity that is water irrigates the remote coastal village. In this regard, I express my deep gratitude to the executive chairman of the fund, His Excellency Sultan Abdul Rahman, for financing such a major project that the whole population has been waiting for the long time with the impatient inauguration of this project by the Prime Minister since 2020. For his part, the Minister of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, and Mr. Mohammed Ahmed Awal expressed his happiness his happiness to participate in this joyful ceremony dedicated to providing safe drinking water to the people living in Bisaduru. The title in Finnish. There are currently for produce including 2 operational in Bisaduru. But that doesn't mean we are not going. We will stop there. We are going to drill for additional bihars in increasing the water flow and also the water supply for shortage in it's even has excess water. Did you say them? And this transform in meaning potential seaside potential in this fish potential of the maritime passage in a lot. For his part, the Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, in his speech, expressed his thanks and gratitude to the Saudi Fund Development and the project, such a project. He expressed his gratitude to the Saudi Fund Development for his support in the realization of this vital project. He said, furthermore, it gives me great pleasure to conclude the strong fraternal relation between the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, for which we thank them for the continued support of our country in the field of economic and social development. He said, I am pleased to shed light on the water supply project in basins in the north of our country, because this project, which in the inhabitants of Oboh region, in particular the inhabitants of Bisaduru, the pipeline that will carry out the water from the project wells in the far north of the city in Oboh, and the distance about 120 kilometers, are bringing joy to life in part of our northern province. In an interview with him on national television, the CEO of Saudi Fund for Development explained the importance of this project, which is beneficial to the residents of the village of Bisaduru. He said, today I have the pleasure to be with my brotherly Republic of Djibouti to inaugurate a number of development projects financed by the fund, including this project that we are really in front of, which is to supply the city of Bisaduru with drinking water, which was financed by the Saudi Fund for Development at the cost of 50 million riyals, during which the fund has provided more than 30 development projects in all sectors of development, with the aim of achieving the sustainable development goals of the Republic of Djibouti for an amount of approximately $400 million, which reflect the depth of the relationship between the Kingdom of Djibouti and the Saudi Kingdom, who binds with them today, are very happy with this visit. At the end of these inaugurations of the project of supplying potable water to the residents of Bisaduru district, His Excellency the Prime Minister cut the ribbon of the opening, marking the inauguration of the project of supplying potable water to the residents of Bisaduru locality. This occasion dedicated to cutting the ribbon took place in a joyful and festive atmosphere, with the participation of the delegation accompanying the Prime Minister, which include members of the government along with the people living in the Oboh region, and thank to the resident of Oboh, the Prime Minister, and the Saudi government for the grand opportunities. After information was published as a social network, the Djiboutian court opened an investigation in this regard. In a statement on this matter, the Republic, its prosecutors, Ms. Lamis Mohammed Saeed, indicate that investigation into this act of current underway, and we are following up with the colleague with the general of the republic, the prosecutors. She declared, following the proven examination of certain audio recording produced by quote agents on social network, an investigation was immediately launched. She said the first investigation carried out have already demonstrated the involvement of several peoples, including in particular the Director General of the National Police and former budget minister, all the people who participate directly or indirectly in the ramification will be prosecuted. Given the seriousness of the fact, a judicial investigation was opened and entrusted to an investigating judge. The later prosecuted to the control of these individuals, some being in pre-trial detention and other placed under judicial control. I take, she said, this opportunity to recall that the search for the truth falls within the competence of the judicial authorities. Moreover, any information disseminated through the media, wherever they are in not there, the expected and exact terms that communicate by the competent authorities are considered misleading, and the communicate later on the progress of this judicial investigation, she said. Yesterday, Tuesday, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Salah Benoita Turab, shared a media workshop on skin disease such as scabies or the general physician of the Ministry of Health, the National Social Security Fund, the Army Forces of the Coast Guard, the National Police, and the National Gendarmeries were present in this workshop. The aim of this workshop was to identify and treat all cases of this kind of contest, the effective response to the exacerbations of cases scabies registered throughout the national territory, and their treatment over past 2 years, 2020, 2021. Many scabies patients by being treated in various health facilities in our country. In Sheikho Hospital, the Department of the Dermatology identified 700 cases of human scabies during the 2021 and within a week for the 6th to the 10th of February alone, 155 cases of scabies were announced on the national territory. In his speech, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Salah Benoita Turab, congratulated the medical specialties for this specialists for this joint initiative that was critical, that was realized for a scientific exchange on scabies in order to achieve comprehensive management of this skin disease. Secretary General of the Ministry of Health noted that the work of this workshop enabled all attended to unity the treatment protocols for the human skin disease through the exchanging experiences on the latest recommendation for the prevention, diagnosis, and individuals and group treatment of a human skin disease, as well as related measures such as environmental and This conference is an opportunity for us to discuss, he said, the spread of very dangerous infectious disease. The National Institute of Health has given us an overview of the extent of the disease and the step that must be taken against it. It was yesterday, Tuesday, the objective. The Djibouti Institute of Diplomatic Studies hosted the first conference to exchange views on geopolitical process uh, shared by the founder of the foundation. This conference witnessed the participation of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the French ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Arnaud Guillouet. This conference also witnessed the participation of the prominent figure from the diplomatic corps of Djibouti and senior official in the administration, especially the Secretary General of the government and ambassadors and general secretaries of various ministries and directorate of the public administrations. Today was an opportunity to sign a partnership agreement between the director of the Institute of Diplomatic Studies, Mr. Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa, and the director of the foundation. The purpose of this agreement was to strengthen the partnership between the two institutions as our country seeks to become a leading institution and geopolitical prospect. In his speech, Mr. Pascal, the geopolitical scientist and director of the foundation, expressed his delighted at the large number that participate in this meeting. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, he said in his speech, highly value the exciting cooperation between the Institute and the French Embassy, and said that this occasion falls within the framework of the cooperation between your institution and ours, which is a young institution, but as you know, left its mark for a few years. It passed a certain number of crucial stage thanks to the support which is very important to us, and to the French embassy and the cultural counselor who is always at the side of our institution. We can develop a certain number of activities. I also think that in a few years we have managed to get a lot of really interest, not only from the inside but also from the outside as well. And we are fully prepared, as I had an opportunity to talk during our meeting, the work of the prospect for cooperation. He concluded. Students of French nativity schools made an inspection visit to the headquarters of the National Assembly to learn about the taxes of the House of the Representative. Upon their arrival at the National Assembly, the students were received by the Secretary General of the National Assembly and all its employees. During their visit, the students toured the various facilities of the Parliament and meeting the halls where they receive detailed information about the number of parliamentarians, the number of halls, and the most important activities of the House of Representatives. He also gave them some historical since the establishment of the National Assembly. The National Union of Djibouti Women, in cooperation with the official of Belbela Primary School, organized this morning an exceptional visit to the National Library for the benefit of the students of this school. Upon the students' arrival at the headquarters of the National Library, they were received with a warm welcome by the library officials. During this visit, the students were able to visit the library, where some clarification were provided to them. During this occasion, the film were shown inside the National Library with the participation of director of the National Library, its employee officials of Belbela, six primary school teacher, and fifth grade students' parents who were present. The aim of these visits is to enhance the level of reading for primary school students and to provide an opportunity for these students to get known with the National Library, which plays a prominent role in the transmitting national culture in all its forms. Within the framework of the National Week for the Artists and Mother Language, a workshop for meditation and strengthening the mother tongue was held at the headquarters of the Community Development Center in Ali Sabih region. The second Deputy Governor of Ali Sabih region, Omar Idris Suge, the Deputy Head of Regional Council Noor Said, the President of the Ali Sabih Association, Hamzi Ahmed, and the Community Development Center in Ali Sabih participate in the workshop. This occasion included the presentation of plays and poetry that reflect the importance of the strengthening the mother tongue present by young men or in Ali Sabih Association. The goals of the National Week for Artists and Mother Language, launched by the Ministry of Youth and Culture, is to honor artists and the mother tongue, and the re-evaluate the artist's work in preserving it. In a speech the Vice President of the Regional Council and the second Deputy Governor of Ali Sabih region explained the importance of working to preserve the heritage, national culture, and the mother tongue. We receive with great sadness and sorrow the news of the death of the late Abdullah Ali Mumin. The late was born in the year 1956 in the region of Tejora, where he worked for many years in the Djibouti Electricity Company before retiring. The deceased was a football player and was known in the community center in Tejora for his morals and kindness of his few. He left behind him a widow and 16 children and more than 20 grandchildren. With this great sadness, we ask the God Almighty to bless his soul. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And now moving on to the international scenes. The European Union's partnership with Africa is a key priority for the Commission as Europe is closest neighbor. Africa not only shares rich history with the European Union countries, but also common values and interests. Through the Africa-European Union partnership, we engage in political and policy dialogues and define our cooperative relationship with Africa. Today's realities make this relationship all the more important. The ongoing COVID pandemic and the growing urgency of the climate crisis show how interdependent our two continents are, and why it is so important that both sides share opportunities and tackle common challenges, the African and the European Union. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.